Welcome back to the Intern Queen YouTube channel, and in true Intern Queen fashion, we're gonna talk about letters of recommendation today. I don't think we've done a video on that yet. So it's really important that you guys always arm yourself with letters of recommendation, because you never know when someone's gonna say, hey, I need a letter. I need a letter of reference. I need a letter of recommendation about you in order to hire you. So you want to make sure that you always have them on hand, just in case an internship coordinator or an employer asks you. So my advice is to have 3 letters of recommendation available at all times. So you want to have an academic letter, so something from a professor that's been written within the past year or two. You want to have a letter, you want to have a character reference, so something that's written by maybe a family friend, someone who you've known for a long time, not your mom or your dad, but again, I think a family friend that works in a prestigious field. Maybe they're a doctor, maybe they're a lawyer, maybe they're in marketing, maybe they work at the tourism bureau, whatever it might be. Get that character reference, someone that can speak to your integrity, your character, your loyalty, your work ethic. And then of course you want that professional letter of recommendation from a former boss, a former internship coordinator, someone that's worked with you on a really professional level. If you guys play any sports, I think coaches of sports teams are great people to write you letters of recommendation. If you're a part of any clubs on campus, a PR club, a marketing club, an ad club, a debate club, the chapter advisors, those are great people that can write you letters of recommendation. And I think it's important that all of your letters of recommendation have been written within the past 2 years. That way it's always something relatively current. Just in terms of good practice, whenever you finish a school semester, ask one professor whose class you did well in, where you had a good repertoire with the professor. Ask that professor to write you a letter of recommendation, and that way you always have something current that's on hand. So again, 3 letters of recommendation: an academic letter, a character reference, and a professional letter. So I think that's really important to keep in mind. Now, when you leave a job or an internship, how do you get that letter of recommendation? Because it's always on your mind, but you never know how to ask for it. 2 weeks before the end of your internship, and you should all be able to pick out that date right now, okay? 2 weeks before the end of your internship, that is when you go to your immediate supervisor and you say, I know the internship is ending in 2 weeks. I know you're really busy. Executives love it when you address how busy they are, right? They have a lot going on. I know you're really busy. My internship ends in 2 weeks, and I would love to get a letter of recommendation from you. Would that be okay? They're gonna say yes, you guys, or they're gonna say, you know what, let me follow up, Whatever it might be, just tell them that you're ready to do anything you can to help. And then I would say to follow up about 1 week later. So now you're at 1 week until the end of your internship. You're gonna follow up and say, I just wanted to ask about that letter of recommendation. I'd really love to get it before the end of the internship, okay? So you're gonna ask 2 weeks before the end of that internship for those letters of recommendation. Now, let's say that you keep asking and you're just getting nothing back, and your boss is just zipping around and so busy, and you're like, uh-oh, I might not get that letter. Here's where you take the advice. I write about this in All Work, No Pay, my book. There's my book, okay? But you take my advice of writing your own letter. Now, what I mean by this isn't being sneaky and forging your boss's signature. We're not doing that here. But what I think you can do is you can say, I know you're really busy. Do you want me to put together a template? Then you could look over it, make any changes that you want, and just sign off on it. Would that be okay? And most likely, if you have a really busy boss, they're actually gonna really appreciate that you're offering to do this. So in this template letter, it just needs to be, I would say, 2 to 3 paragraphs max. I think 2 paragraphs is just fine. And you just want to speak to the actual work that you did at the internship. When people are reading letters of reference, they want to clearly understand, what did you do for that company, and why were you a great intern and someone that person wants to recommend for future hiring. So in your template letter of recommendation, you're gonna talk about the tasks that you did as an intern, and I would be specific. I would name off a few specific tasks that you were responsible for. Write the reasons why you're so great, and I know that you know what those are. You know, you were punctual, you came on time, even the things that you didn't know, you were happy to learn, you always were cooperative, you got along with the team, okay? Put these things in that letter and give it to your boss or your supervisor. And more than likely, they'll print it out on company letterhead, maybe they'll make a few changes, correct some spelling, and they're gonna sign off on that. So getting that letter of recommendation is very important. A lot of jobs require it. And again, sometimes you don't know which employers are gonna ask for a letter of recommendation. And if an employer calls you and says, hey, I have your job application in front of me, I need a letter of recommendation and I need it tomorrow, you don't wanna freak out, right? You wanna already have those letters on hand because you are a prepared job candidate because you watch the Intern Queen on YouTube. All right, now go get those letters of recommendation and good luck wrapping up that internship.